What's up, everyone? Welcome back to XanTech, or welcome to XanTech. It's finally arrived. It was my birthday the other day, and I got this as a surprise from my girlfriend. The absolutely awesome GeForce RTX 4070 Ti Super overclocked edition, and of course, to match the PC, in white. So let's get this box open and see what we get. All right, so I've got the sleeve off, and inside we get this rather fantastic looking box here with the TUF logo and everything else in white and silver. It looks really cool, really premium. So we'll just open this up here. Look at that, really nicely packaged, nicely protected. And there's the main showcase. That's really good. Let's take it out the plastic and get a closer look. Okay, so first out of the box, of course, we get the graphic card itself. The GeForce RTX 4070 Ti Super by TUF Gaming. Then next we get the 16-pin to 12-pin adapter. Next we get the TUF Gaming Velcro strip. Next out of the box is the little support bracket to stop the GPU sag, because this thing is quite heavy. And last but not least, of course, we get all the assorted paperwork. Okay, so now that we have this beast out of the box, come in for a closer look. I'll show you around the card and see what's what. All right, so first thing, we notice that this is quite a hefty card, really sturdy construction here. Of course, this one is white. You can also get it in a gunmetal gray, I believe. And these fans, of course, you have 3 of them. It's a triple fan design. On the 2 outer ones, you have the TUF Gaming logo. And on the middle, you have the Asus logo. Now, these fans are a little bit different than some others. These are the axial fans. As you can see around the edge of each fan, you have this ring. Now, that supposedly helps the air go through into the graphic card a lot smoother, a lot easier, and better than if it was without these rings. Is that accurate? Is that so true? I don't know. Am I going to perform airflow tests on this? Nah, I'll leave that for the experts and the nerds that like all of those stats. But anyway, keep going around the card. You've got these little nice touches, these designs, the TUF Gaming. You've got mission and some coordinates. That's awesome. If we take a look over here on this side, of course you have the GeForce RTX logo. Now this one does not light up when you put it in your system like some other graphic cards do, like some of the GeForce cards. You have the small TUF Gaming logo here. This logo here, this one, however, does light up, and it is customizable to a certain degree. You can change the colors of it in your system, make it look flashy, as you know that I will. If we take a look at the back side, over here you have the all-metal back plate. The PCB goes up to this point here, and over here you have the opening for the air to flow through and keep your graphic card nice and cool. Now, this is a 2-slot card. It does fit into 2 slots, but because of the thickness, because of the size of this card, as you can see, it's quite fat. That's what she said. This one is going to take up a little bit more than 2 slots. I'd say it's a 3-slot card, so make sure you have the space within your system for this beast to fit in there. Now, if I turn it over here, if you take a look here, this is your power connector. This one is recessed a little bit, which I like, but also this is your new 12 VH PWR connector. Now, as I've shown you before, we do get the adapter here, so if you don't have one of those newfangled super duper power supplies, you are supplied with one of these, so the connection will be no problem at all. And now if we take a look at this part of the card, you can see we have 3 display ports, and we have 3 HDMI ports, which is good. As you know, in all the graphic cards and some others, you only have 2 HDMI ports. This one we have 3, which I think is definitely a bonus. Now, of course, this card is the OC model. The standard base clock speed is 2640 megahertz, and with the OC edition, it's 2670. So if that means anything to you, good luck. To me, they're just numbers. Right now on screen, I'm going to show you the performance numbers for this card for 1440p and 4K gaming. We'll be starting with 1440p gaming average frames per second. Now this is based off my system, which is a mid-range gaming system, the stats for which I will leave in the description below. As you can see over here for Cyberpunk, we have 120 frames per second at 1440p. Shadow of the Tomb Raider gets 215 FPS. Borderlands 143. FIFA 2022, oh sorry, F1 2022, not FIFA, gets 122 frames per second. Far Cry 6, fantastic game by the way, gets 170 frames per second. Watch Dogs Legion 125, and of course Metro Exodus is at 118 frames per second at 1440p gaming. Now moving over to 4K gaming, also on the same system, with the average frames per second for Cyberpunk being 58, Shadow of the Tomb Raider gets 114, Borderlands gets 77, F1 2022 gets 63 frames per second, Far Cry 6 hits just under 100 frames per second at 99, Watch Dogs Legion gets 73, and Metro Exodus gets 68 frames per second, which is average frames per second for 4K gaming. Now some of you might be thinking, how do I power this monster? How much power does it need? Well, let me tell you, it's 1.21 gigawatts.
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
Now, only joking, this card has a TDP rating of 285 watts. You should be good to go if you have like a 650 watt power supply unit, but just to be on the safe side, I'd go for a 750 watt power supply unit. In my system, I'm running a 850 watt PSU, so that should be more than enough for all my components and this beast. So anyway, now that's enough talk, I think. We are here for the main event, and that's to see how this looks in the system. So I'm going to take a little break, I'm going to install it, and then we'll be back and I'll show you how it looks. All right, so here it is installed in my system. As you can see, everything is nice and white, apart from the motherboard, but I'll have to talk to Asus about that. Anyway, so here, as you can see, the GeForce logo doesn't light up, but I don't think that's a problem. It's nicely visible. And here, the TUF logo, shining bright, which of course is customizable. And I think that looks rather fantastic. I'm super happy with that. Well, there you have it, guys. That was the Asus TUF Gaming 4070 Ti OC edition in white. As you can see, the card looks fantastic. The graphs that I showed you earlier, by the way, that was all with DLSS switched off. So that was just the raw data, the power of the graphic card. If you, of course, turn on DLSS, I'm sure you'll be able to bump those frame rates way up there. This is a fantastic card. It's good for 1080p. You'll be smashing it, getting way over 200 frames per second in most of the games. This will quite easily also smash anything in 1440p and 4K. You can easily bump everything up to ultra and enjoy the look of your games. As you can see, when I took the camera closer to the system, the card doesn't sag. It's a full metal frame, so it doesn't sag too much. I thought it might do because of its size and weight, so I didn't need to use this little bracket to hold it up. But as also when you saw, there's not much space between my case and the lower fans. Of course, there would be no place for this. So if you are getting it and you do need one of these, make sure it fits in your case and make sure you have somewhere to place this to support the card if in any case there is a sag. Fortunately for me, there is no sagging, so it's absolutely perfect. So for today, that's all we have time for. I know I mentioned last week that today I was going to be showing you the L-Connect 3 software to run your fans, the LCD fans from Lian, but I thought since I got this, I will leave that for another time. I got a little bit greedy, and now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go do some gaming on my new 4070 Ti Super Overclocked Edition. So until next week, guys, take care.